You're listening to Pop This, the podcast where two women talk about everything pop culture. Here are your hosts, Lisa Christiansen and Andrea Warner.
So, I had this thing this morning, and this is gonna sound weird.
Is it a boil or an ingrown hair? When you say a thing, I always worry. What? Where are we going?
How much do we need to brace ourselves?
Yeah, exactly. I'm holding on to the table now.
You can unclench. Don't worry, it's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I looked in the mirror this morning, and I was like, "Oh, you look more innocent today than you have in the last few months." And I don't. Have you ever had that? Were you just
innocent?
What do you mean by innocent?
Specific. Like you finally got rid of all of the clues to that murder, and you.
I finally buried every skeleton.
Yeah.
No, I just looked a little bit more fresh faced and
pure,
youthful this morning than I have in a few months. And it's not that I slept better. It's not I don't know what it is. But
Carlos didn't change the lighting in your bathroom.
No, nothing. It's weird. But I literally looked in the mirror this morning, and I actually did the double take and was like, huh, why do you look more innocent today? And it was weird.
I'm weirded out by this word. Is there another word you could use? Innocent is a. It seems.
Yeah, I
there's
don't
that really cheesy
exactly
80s song called "Innocent." That's all you ever are. And it's it sounds like something creepy.
I don't mean I don't mean naive in the ways of the world. That's not, it's not code.
Or do you mean that you normally you look guilty?
Yeah, no, I think
and I would vouch for that. She does look a little bit guilty, something's up. Usually.
Yeah, I feel normally I have a bit of a wizened knowingness about me. That's can be playful, but is rarely described as innocent. But this morning,
I'm gonna say I wonder if I'm on the same wavelength as you, because I have no reason to believe this at all. But a couple of days ago, I just was I had to go to the store, and I just I thought I'll put some stuff on my face because I'm gonna go grocery shopping, and that's all I've got right now, right?
Sure.
And I did, and I thought you look really good, you. Wow, really good. And then I put my mask on and obviously went into the store and stuff so no one could see it. But I don't know if it's just because I don't do that anymore, or I forgot. So many days I forget to care or notice or think or...
Maybe you had a really peaceful sleep, AW, and you just woke up with a relaxed expression on your face.
You know what I just realized? I didn't have I didn't really have a peaceful sleep, but it was fine. But I had a decent sleep. But I just realized what it was probably is that for the last I hadn't put on makeup yet, and I had just washed my face, but for the last 2 days I've used my the moisturizer that
the
makes
tinted
your skin,
moisturizer,
a moisturizer that makes your skin nicer. That it has
is that the whole objective of the moisturizer?
No, but this specifically has some kind of acid,
a lactic acid,
something like that. I don't know.
Glycolic acid,
glycolic. This one, yeah. I've used the moisturizer 2 days in a row, and I woke up looking a good few years younger today.
Okay, well, we need the name of this product. What is this?
I believe it's the CeraVe one. I will double check this for next week.
This will be in the show notes. You can't just throw this out there.
It just hit me. I was I used my moisturizer 2 days in a row. Okay, this makes sense.
This also just sounds like an elaborate ad for your moisturizer.
Honestly, it's not. I understand that it sounds like it, but because and then
visit
later
us on
morning,
Instagram.
Later today, I saw we went for a walk in the Richmond Nature Reserve, and a little cute bunny hopped across the walk while we were out there, and I was like, whoa, is it my young face that's calling these bunnies forth? Obviously it wasn't.
Wow, things are really...
Wow, a real Snow White moment.
Honestly, I felt real, I felt really special for earlier part of the day. And now I'm sharing that. And I know it sounds so dumb, but like it's like what a nice way to feel in this pandemic. And like we've all been home for so long. And honestly, what a delight.
But question, do you normally not moisturize your face?
I do moisturize a fair bit, but because one, I'm forgetful, and two, because I don't use any foundation and I just use a tinted moisturizer.
I used to say a BB cream. You mean that's what I use?
No, mine's literally a tinted moisturizer. I know what a BB, like I have used a BB cream sometimes in the past, but for like the last 5 years, I've just used that NARS tinted moisturizer. So I sometimes will forget to put like a moisturizer on at night. Or actually often. And then I got this acid one or whatever. Glycolic acid, yes, I think is what it is. And then I forgot for like the last month and I've used it the last 2 nights. And I think that's actually honestly what it is. And I didn't remember that I had done that until I started telling you guys about this. I'm sorry.
So that's why it made you look so innocent.
Apparently that's why I looked innocent this morning. And I understand innocent being a problematic word, but I find it hilarious. So I just keep using it.
It is.
Yeah.
Impressive.
It's an unusual word. Like, I looked in the mirror this morning and I thought to myself, I look forgetful, which is a weird word or something, or scandalous.
Or I can see you saying like, my skin looked really good today when I woke up. But like innocence sort of suggests that like normally you look at yourself in the mirror and you see a guilty woman staring back at you.
Again, it wasn't so much guilty, but I was just like, she looks like she's seen some stuff. And today I was like,
whoa,
she's seen less. That's nice.
Wow.
Okay. If that moisturizer can do this,
we want this moisturizer. We want this.
Get me in on that.
I want that too.
I'm so sorry that I can't remember what it is right now.
Expect some very innocent faces next week.
Yeah. We'll have to switch to a video podcast.
Just like the last year will just have been erased from our memories.
Just like melted from the skin. I mean, maybe I'm kind of thinking about this because like it's like I'm about to celebrate in a few weeks another birthday in sort of kind of a quarantine. And so this is like this maybe is sort of like where I'm thinking about just haggardness.
Well, I remember last year it was so sad because you had planned to have a tater tot party.
Oh, it was going to be so good.
We are united in our love of our shared love of tater tots, and so
my God,
I was so excited about it.
Yeah. No,
and then you had to cancel it.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't even remember when the last time I had a tater tot. Now that I think about it. Like, have I had a tater tot in the pandemic? I don't know.
Have you ever seen that video of someone grilling a bunch of tater tots in a waffle iron and making a tater tot waffle?
Why would you do that?
I have not.
Isn't that just like a big giant hash brown then?
Yeah.
I mean,
you can eat it like a waffle.
That's I've been served a potato waffle before. When we were in
also
Ireland.
called a latke, I believe. But
no. Like the latkes, aren't they like a little bit more like potato cakes? Like they're more like potato pancakes almost. This specifically was like when we were in Ireland. Yeah. When we were in Ireland, they like served us potato waffles, and they were like they had crunched a bunch of tater tots into a waffle, and instead of they served us like a sweet gravy. Gross. Gross.
Weird.
Like, no.
I could probably do that. Now, see, this segues into a conversation I've had before with people in terms of the versatility of a vegetable. Many people find it's the potato, which I would agree because there's really so much you can do. But I feel like cauliflower's like maybe
you've
first
made
or
this
second.
Argument before, and I reject it. I reject it. I'm sorry.
Because you do not eat cauliflower. Or
I don't like cauliflower. It's just like
anyway at all. Because people make cauliflower rice. They make cauliflower like pastry.
I'm not a fan.
The buffalo cauliflower wings?
Nope. I don't even like buffalo sauce. So I mean, you put a cauliflower in it. You're not fooling me. No, I'm not a big fan.
I don't mind it. I do like potatoes a lot. So.
Well, yeah. I love the potato. I mean, I'm not just saying that, but I just meant in terms of versatility. I think
understand
the cauliflower and the potato.
I understand that it is versatile. I would any day of the week rather eat broccoli than cauliflower.
Oh. Not me. No.
I'm one of those.
I do not find the broccoli very versatile.
I don't think it's versatile necessarily. Although, no, gotta take it
Okay,
back.
now definitely we're going to have to say this podcast was brought to you by the words innocent and versatile.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if we had a different word of the week every week and just like we become this like combo Pee-wee's Playhouse / Pop This / Sesame Street?
Yeah.
Honestly, we've been steering into it for a long time, so why don't we embrace it?
You know, it's just madness now most days. I feel like I rein it in for this brief time every week, and then it's back out to the chaos. So I don't know what's going to happen.
I have to say, like, this kind of like steering in, like approaching a show like the one we're going to talk about in terms of sort of like this very mannered chaos is it's a kind of a fun escape from all of the horrific chaos in the real world. Like there might never have been a better time for this show than this past December. I'm Andrea Warner.
I'm Lisa Christiansen.
I'm Andrea Gin.
And you're listening to Pop This.
Grab your Empire Line dress.
Get ready for a promenade.
Yes,
we're talking about Bridgerton.
England. Yes, we are.
Bridgerton.
Bridgerton.
Had either of you read the books that this is based on?
Goodness, no.
No.
Yeah, no. Like,
no.
Goodness, no.
Look what happens to you when you watch this. Goodness, no. Oh, no. I would not let one of those pages darken my cheek.
I mean, okay, let's do first things first. I'm happy to read some background here.
Mm-hmm.
Bridgerton is a Netflix period drama created and executive produced by Chris Van Dusen and executive produced by Shonda Rhimes and Betsy Beers. The series premiered on December 25th, 2020. I love the idea of a bunch of families sitting down and being like, this seems like a nice show. And then it's just horned up people trying to get married. A lot of hetero horned up people. Anyway, based on Julia Quinn's best-selling series of novels, Bridgerton is set in the sexy, lavish, and competitive world of Regency London high society. From the glittering ballrooms of Mayfair to the aristocratic palaces of Park Lane and beyond, the series unveils a seductive, sumptuous world replete with intricate rules and dramatic power struggles where no one is truly ever on steady ground. At the heart of the show is the powerful Bridgerton family, comprised of 8 close-knit siblings. This funny, witty, daring, and clever group must navigate the upper 10,000s marriage mart in search of romance, adventure, and love. And that's from the fandom wiki.
Seems right.
It seems right, based on the 2 episodes that we have watched and are going to be talking about.
All right, I can read the synopsis. Bridgerton follows Daphne Bridgerton, the eldest daughter of the powerful Bridgerton family, as she makes her debut onto Regency London's competitive marriage market. Hoping to follow in her parents' footsteps and find a match sparked by true love, Daphne's prospects initially seem to be unrivaled. But as her older brother begins to rule out her potential suitors, the high society scandal sheet written by the mysterious Lady Whistledown casts aspersions on Daphne. Enter the highly desirable, oh my heavens, yes. This is my editorializing. This is not in the synopsis. Woo! I'm just like giving myself a fan here.
Oh yeah, we all got vapors, my God.
Oh my vapors. The highly desirable and rebellious Duke of Hastings, committed bachelor and the catch of the season for the debutantes' mamas. Despite proclaiming that they want nothing the other has to offer, their attraction is undeniable and sparks fly as they find themselves engaged in an increasing battle of wits, while navigating society's expectations for their future. Also from Fandom Wiki.
I mean, honestly. Okay, so we're only going to talk about the first 2 episodes, but did you 2 stick to the first 2 or did you just binge it all?
I just watched the first 2. I probably will finish though, I think.
Yeah.
I watched the first 3 episodes. I'm not sure if I'll finish, maybe.
Fair.
Depends on how my week goes. Sometimes Sometimes, like, if I don't watch a show immediately right away, it just kind of trails off and I forget about it and never see the end of it.
I only watched the first two, but I love it. And honestly, as soon as we're like, if my grandma could understand it, that like she broke her hearing aids, so she can't hear that well. So yeah, and it's fine. We're gonna get our new hearing aids, but it takes a couple weeks. If she wasn't staying with me this week, I would binge it all as soon as we get off recording this episode, because I
like you did with the flight attendant last week. Did you watch the rest of it?
Oh my god, I watched all of it and I love it so much, and I can't believe I didn't text you both the entire time, but yeah,
sorry,
I
just had to like
I was just so into it.
Yeah, it was so hard not to go and talk about, because it
really
just took off.
All the restraint that you both had in our flight attendant episode. But Bridgerton, I am very into. It took me an episode to get fully into it, but I have to say, like, by the time we got to Lady Danbury's speech in episode 2, to Simon as a little boy, I was just like, I love this show. I'm in. Regency romances, not normally my thing, but like, let's give this a whirl. I got my petticoats going.
I have to say the first episode, I felt really kind of meh. Like I liked it.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel really drawn in. I've watched so many of these movies set at this period for some reason. Like I feel like I've watched everything Keira Knightley's ever done, or Carey Mulligan, and I think basically it's always in the same period, you know. Yep. And I've watched Pride and Prejudice many times. I've watched Sense and Sensibility many times. Persuasion. I mean, I've seen them all.
But have you watched them crossed with Gossip Girl?
No, that was different. And of course, seeing people of color, which we didn't mention, which is hard to just sort of throw into the synopsis, but that is definitely a big change from the dramas that we've seen before. We also usually don't get as much sex. More like talked about sort of thing, you know, maybe a little bit, but not like this.
Have either of you seen The Great with Elle Fanning and Nicholas Hoult?
I watched a little bit of it. Similar.
I haven't watched it.
It's a similar kind of period remix. But I liked it a lot better than this show. And but nobody's talking about it or watching it.
Oh, I've heard everyone's been recommending it to me. It's way funnier.
Oh, really?
I've heard it made almost 10 best
people have
lists.
recommended it to me too. Did either of you watch Dickinson?
No.
Okay, so it's in a kind of a similar vein, except it's based on Emily Dickinson, and it's got like that sort of remix kind of periods mixed with like contemporary kind of stuff. And I like these kinds of shows that play with sort of that remix. What I haven't seen so far, but I haven't seen The Great, so I don't know how that plays with it. But Bridgerton so far is the first show that has like Black people and other people of color, like that like are casts at it's not, you know.
The Great has that as well.
Oh, does it? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Dickinson doesn't have it that much. Like they decided to sort of still, they have like a few people who are people of color who are cast, but they also have maintained like a slave storyline as well. And then Death is played by a Black man, which is a choice. Anyway, I feel like if you are going to do kind of like a mix of contemporary and Victorian or whatever the traditional times, like why not have like a much more like representative cast? Like obviously I think we're all excited to see like not fully white casts, you know, like I think that's super exciting. And that's what I want to see more of all the time, particularly as people flock to sort of telling, especially like as things enter into, I mean, I know that this is like a new book series. It's not like something that has like entered the, it's no longer sort of, like everyone's excited that The Great Gatsby is no longer under copyright. Mm-hmm. And we are going to see so many fresh takes on The Great Gatsby in the coming like 10 to 20 years. It's just going to happen. Like that's like exactly what's going to happen. But like, I don't think we need to, this is how we've ended up with like so many things.
Has it ever been made into a musical? Because I'll tell you one thing. It sounds to me like if The Great Gatsby had ever been made into a musical, it sounds like one of those really cheesy high school productions, doesn't it?
I mean,
I know Baz Luhrmann made it. I never watched his version. Did he put a lot of music in it? Was there like a lot of...
Did Baz Luhrmann make The Great Gatsby?
Yeah, with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Is that Baz Luhrmann?
Yeah.
Oh, I never watched it.
No, me either.
But I don't think it's a musical, that one.
No, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it is.
The thing about like Bridgerton that I think is like so fascinating is like, and like we did with like the Queen's Gambit, like this show has ended up being one of the biggest hits on Netflix ever.
Yeah.
Like 63 million households apparently watched it in the first 4 weeks, according to Netflix.
Because we can't do anything.
Million.
Because we can't go out.
No, but like, I mean, but
because Wonder Woman 2 was awful. So.
But like, I mean, the Queen's Gambit, Bridgerton, like these are shows that have like honestly, this show is as beautiful as the Queen's Gambit. Like it's
it's beautiful,
luxurious to watch. I mean, it's a much larger cast and it's a very different kind of show. But I feel like it there are other streaming options. Like people could be watching HBO Go, they could be watching Hulu, they could be watching like so many other things. But like they're really turning to Netflix for these sort of like new large scale shows, and I think that that's kind of fascinating. But like, can you imagine watching it with your entire family on Christmas Day?
Well, it's amazing to me that like a production like this costs who knows how many millions of dollars. The costumes and jewelry and everything are all handmade, and it took a crew of probably like hundreds, if not
each of those dance scenes, how many extras
together.
And it's wild.
And you know, like just how much skill and time and effort goes into this, and then like somebody just binge watches it in like a day, and it's done.
Well, they're like sitting in their underwear eating like cheesies or something.
I know, and then it's just like that's it, it's over. I'm going to talk about it for a day, and now I'm on to the next thing.
No, I know.
You think people aren't going back and like rewatching it?
Oh, no.
Really?
Do you go back and rewatch The Queen's Gambit after?
No, I never even finished it. Like, to be fair, yeah. But like, I will finish it at some point. But like, I think like I feel like Bridgerton so far, and I mean maybe it gets darker. I don't know, but it's not. It's giving me that sort of like superficial empowerment for like women storyline that I kind of want without a lot of mess underneath it, you know? Like The Flight Attendant was emotional work as well as like wonderful entertainment. Bridgerton, I feel like, is going to give me that sort of soapy
well, yeah, it's exactly like a soap opera.
But I love that. Like I love that. And I mean, and I say this as someone who does not actually watch Grey's Anatomy, but I did watch Scandal and I did watch How to Get Away with Murder. And so I'm into the Shonda universe. I watched Grey's Anatomy up until season 5, and I've heard it's like continued to be excellent through all its like 200 seasons. And it's still on TV now. But like I love this as a sort of very different show from the Shonda Land universe, you know?
Oh, yeah. And I'm also hoping big things for our Eloise, that character. Oh my God. Daphne's sister.
I love Eloise. I love Penelope.
Yeah, she makes me think of like a Diana Rigg. That's what I kept thinking. And obviously, I feel like it's probably not fair for me to say this because I'm sort of always drawn to the deep-voiced tomboy women. Why? I don't know, Lisa. That's weird. So I knew right away that Eloise was going to be my gal. But I gotta say, I am laughing so hard at the storyline of Eloise and Penelope trying to figure out how you get pregnant.
Oh my God, it's so funny. Just like the idea that they don't know how you can end up pregnant without being married. I love it.
It is so sweet. And I have to say, if I was to point out what will probably keep me watching is because it's over. It's a I don't even know if we say mini series anymore. It's just a series, right? I feel like it's done a really good job of these small moments between like when the brother and sister are smoking on the swings together, talking, or the way they just slow down a scene for the dance. Yeah. Where they really kind of linger on the eyes catching and So for that reason, I really like the show because it's has a chance to really have moments. Sometimes these shows to me are just like, you know, they're just so much of two people they're like, you know, conniving and the soap opera stuff, but real connections with people is why I think I'm really enjoying this.
But I mean, back to your point, AW, about it being like there not being a lot of mental or emotional work you have to do to watch the show and that feeling good. Like, I think that's precisely why people think it was such a hit over the holidays, is because people just needed a mental break where you can just turn off your brain and just enjoy a soap drama. Yeah.
But
Pretty things.
Like, I feel like it's like, it has some ambitions that, like, I don't think it's purely mindless. Like, I think it has some ambitions and it has like a few things to say here and there, like the way any Shonda show would, which is that like, it's about sort of telling stories usually about women that don't always get told. And particularly when we see them in episode 2, how the women use...
Oh, I love that.
They're they're so expected to be gossips, so they use it to their advantage to chase
so clever.
Lord Scumbucket out of town. Like I loved that. And I feel like this is the kind of show that's going to continue to offer up these moments to us, like again and again and again. Like even I think so. Ruby Barker, I think, is wonderful as Marina Thompson. We haven't really gotten a full chance to sort of figure out what's going on with her yet. Like we know that she's pregnant, and we know that you know, it's out of wedlock, so it's a terrible scandal, etc. But like, I have no idea how old some of these characters are supposed to be.
Oh, I know.
Because I Marina when we first met her, I was like, oh, this girl is 16 years old. But then in the second episode, she's having this like wonderful discussion with Penelope and teasing her about how she got pregnant because of love and because of eating cake. Yes. And she's so good in this moment. But like, she suddenly seems 10 years older than Penelope. Well, how old is Eloise supposed to be? How old is Penelope? I don't understand.
If you had told me that even Daphne Bridgerton, the main character, was like 12, I'd be like, okay.
Well, yeah. Like I thought, okay, maybe she's 16, 17 because like it's a society life and you have to like marry before you're barren or whatever. Like, so maybe she's even 15. But like when she refers to Eloise as a child, like she basically says like, I love children, but you're giving me second thoughts about that. And that she sang to her a few months ago while her mother was giving birth and almost died and took care of her. Like I think partly it's like the actress is like so slight of feature. And it really depending on which way she's looking at the camera and which way she's looking at Roger Jean Page, maybe Simon, who plays the Duke. Like depending on when she's looking at him, she sometimes looks 12 and sometimes she looks 20. And I have no idea how old anyone is. It's driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I talked a long time for that, but
But let's just talk again about Lord Hastings.
Yeah, he's beautiful.
I mean, right when he just shows up.
Oh, God.
Right? It just...
Like, all of his stunning velvet coats. AG, you love a velvet coat. Like, you must crave his whole wardrobe.
Yeah, he does look sharp. And has a very nice kind of, like, deep voice that Yeah.
Yeah, it's the voice. That's it. Yeah.
Plus, oh my God, when he smiles at Daphne while they're dancing in the second episode and they're laughing together, like I didn't think that I was going to, you know what, here's the thing. In episode 1, I was like, you know what, maybe this will be the kind of like cool show that's going to surprise me. And these two are going to be best friends and allies. And they're going to each like, you know, figure out different things for each other. And it's not going to be like a romance. And then obviously I was like,
what are you watching? What
I know. I was like, I'm so stupid. And then by episode 2, I was like, duh, obviously. Anyway, but by the end of episode 2, I was like, oh man, I'm hooked. I like this.
I also feel very attached to the boxing scenes. I find those.
I'm not as much into boxing. Like I don't like to, I'm not a real like violence kind of, you know, like it's, I know they're shirtless, but
I don't know. Like, to me, that's the thing that makes me not that interested in watching the rest of it. Because I know it's just going to be kind of a conventional romance between two attractive
But he said he'll never marry, Andrea. Why?
And he
take him at his
and
word.
they'll
Never
end
have
up
an heir.
together and live happily ever after.
How
and be
is he
wealthy and beautiful? And
How
it'll
is he
be
going to
all
undo
great.
his celestial vasectomy in order to have a child with her and give her the family she wants?
I don't know, but I know that they're going to do it.
I believe you're correct. I believe I see a wedding at the end of this.
Yeah.
A lavish one at that.
But like I mean, it's a lot for me to sort of be invested in a romance oftentimes. But I do enjoy the way that they are sort of playful with each other. I'm a sucker for the sort of ruse and then they fall in love anyways kind of thing. Like I also did not expect that we would so quickly get a storyline in which Daphne punches a man who is trying to attack her. That was surprising to me. There were a bunch of things that sort of do have like, I guess because I have expectations of what a sort of traditional Victorian kind of, romance would be. There are these like pockets of surprise that are keeping me kind of hooked.
Yes, I would agree with that. Also, it looks pretty.
It's
I mean, that's the thing that I'm really enjoying.
It really
is
does. Yeah.
all the dresses and
the dresses are amazing. And it's not even, and like when you said they're all handmade, I mean, the whole point of it is every time they go to a dance, they have to have a different dress. Everybody has to be in a different dress.
Thank God there's 8
a
balls.
Lot of costumes.
8 balls and 1 picnic and 8 episodes. That's perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's so much. And then each of the homes and the food and the hair and it's quite something.
The scene when they have like electricity and all the light bulbs go. Oh my God, that was so beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm also a real fan of the Queen so far.
Oh yes, yeah.
I can't wait to spend a little bit more time with her. I am just looking for her name.
Do you think that they bring her into the center of the story anymore than she has been?
Oh, that's a great one. Wait, who plays the Queen? I'll look her up. Sorry.
I don't see her getting any more. However, I want to answer the question from your script as well. Did I know that was Julie Andrews as the narrator? I did not. I didn't know that was her.
I didn't know either but then now that I read it, I'm like, yeah, of course.
You know what? The synopsis we read though didn't really mention that there is this other side of this, like we said, Gossip Girl, but I don't know if we explained it well. If you haven't watched this show, is that there is a pamphlet of gossip that comes out and talks about the goings on of everybody during this society time. So if you did watch Gossip Girl, it's almost exactly the same structure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sorry, the Queen is played by Golda Rocheville. And I don't know if she shows up in the rest of the episodes or not, but I just loved watching her interact with the mom, Violet, I believe. And the children's widowed mother, played by Ruth Jamel. And they're having their tea. And she's like, just so you know, this man's a gossip. So she has sent him out of the room to go and get more drugs for her to just casually sniff. And I turned to Carlos and I was like, is that like what? And he's like, yeah, no, that's actually like period accurate. And I was like, what are you? I was like, okay, cool. This is a great, no wonder they're making so many weird blinkered decisions as like a society, you know? But I just love that like she's waiting for news for her husband to be dead. And she has this gossipy butler. And she is like just like gobbling up this daily rag from Lady
Whistledown.
Whistledown. Thank you. I love Whistledown. So good. And I like the power of the pen, man. Like this is such an exciting time. Like everyone's just waiting to find out more about all the people in their little, I don't know, fiefdom or whatever that's going on. I think like, as we saw with like Dangerous Liaisons, like it is a gossipy bunch of awful people who make up
you
like
see what
high
happens
society.
when you have, like, Eloise is onto this. You need some other mental activities.
Yes.
You need some pursuits besides needlepoint, flower arranging, or whatever is going on all day. I didn't see any flower arranging. There's just lots of flowers. But when there's like nothing to do, what else are you going to do? You're going to gossip, right?
Well, yeah. I would also gossip all day long if I lived there. Like I'd like to believe that I would end up being Lady Whistledown. That would be my dream scenario. But I feel like ultimately it's probably going to end up like with Gossip Girl. It's going to end up being like one of the brothers or something.
I'm having trouble differentiating all the brothers as
the brothers
actors.
all look
They
alike.
don't speak to each other very closely either. Like they don't have a real effect. Like they say they're a close-knit family, but when Eloise walks into her room, into Daphne's room, it's Eloise? Like they act like they just met or something. It's a very...
Well, I feel like there's a competition between the three girls or between those two girls, because Eloise doesn't want Daphne's life, and Eloise also is the only person who's going to call out Daphne about all of her pretending. Like she actually, I thought she gave like, it's like kind of a beautiful moment where she's like, you must be exhausted being this person all the time.
Yeah.
And that, like, as you said, Lisa, like these little moments that we have that exist between people, like that I think is really that's the heart of this show, you know? Like, I mean, yes, it's gossipy and fun and silly and strange and all these other things, but I do get a sense of, like the politics of family, as well as the like love of family and the obligation of family.
I really love the mom. I love this mother.
The mom's amazing.
She is so good. The way she's navigating that last little speech she has to her son, who has completely dropped the ball on everything. And the way he thought he was carrying on with this opera singer, nobody knew. It was just so funny the way she was just like, we got to do this now, hey? I just love the way she deals with her children and, knows what needs to get done. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the other thing about episode 2 that I found just like heartbreaking is obviously like Simon's father, the original Duke of Hastings, is a deeply unpleasant and kind of horrific man. And the actor who plays him is so good though. But I love how like and the little kid who plays Simon is so good.
Yeah. Sad.
And and Lady Danbury, when she gives that speech about how, you have to choose, when she walked into a room, she wanted to disappear into the shadows of a room. And there's something like so wonderful about the performance, but also the actual writing of that moment. And I feel like this is where the show isn't specifically addressing race front and center, but it's allowing, I think like allowing its characters to sort of offer these moments of testimonial about what it is existing in this like otherwise relatively very white world.
It kind of reminds me that I wanted to talk about the Duvernay test, because I don't know if we've brought it up on our podcast before, but like it's this term that's come up named after Ava DuVernay, of course, about about like when African-American characters in movies are allowed to have a fully realized life rather than serve as scenery in white scenes.
Yes.
And
so this is a good test of this.
Yeah, exactly. This movie at least does kind of live up to that test.
Yeah, that's fascinating. I did not know about that. That's great. Yeah.
This is, and I really like, I'm so hopeful that we're going to have like a really phenomenal storyline come out of Marina's, because I think that Ruby.
Will we find out how she got pregnant? Is that what you're saying?
I think so. Like, I feel like I honestly thought like, so Ruby Barker, I think, is so good. And I thought that we were going to get something really creepy and horrible with the woman's husband, I figured that he was like her father, like secretly, like they say a cousin of the Featheringtons, but I figured that he was like maybe probably her father, and like outside of marriage, and but that he was also like a real creep and was
I thought that too, actually. Yeah.
Like I thought for sure he was having an inappropriate and like illegal sexual interest in her. And then when we found out that like apparently she's pregnant by this person that she's in love with, I was like really relieved by that, actually. But I'm worried about where the storyline could go. Like I want her to have a good, excellent storyline on this show, because I feel like she proves to us so much in episode 2 what kind of actress she is, you know? Like I just think she's very talented.
Also, she gets to not be part of this whole, you know, insane situation.
Like having the courting and stuff, and like having everyone. Yeah. Well, I love that she arrives and she takes over everything, and that's great and perfect. And yeah, she's like ridiculously beautiful, and no one is trying to like deny that, but they're like, you can tell how like Lady Featherington is so relieved when she can sideline her in favor of her 3 daughters. That
casting decision of like, we're gonna, you know, like, you know that you're going out for this story, and then you're either going to become a Bridgerton or a Featherington. Yeah, and you're like, wow, I made a Featherington. Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, like, though, I love Penelope.
No, I love yes.
Yeah, like Penelope is like just going to be, I think.
But they have set us up in this show.
That must be so interesting as an actor to like, if you just get kind of constantly cast as like the evil stepsister or whatever in movies. Yeah, that's your look.
You're always ugly and mean. You can't just be ugly. You can't just be mean. You got to be ugly and mean.
Yeah, you're just like, that's the look you're giving off.
Well, I mean, I have to say, like, so many, like, particularly like if you are like a fat actor, often you are either like a fat joke or a fat meanie or a fat nothing, you know, like those are your 3 sort of options. And I really appreciate that, like, Penelope, like, yes, of course, obviously her weight has already come up and like, etc. But like she appears to be aware that she has like other things outside. Like she does not appear to be suffering in confidence, which is nice. Like she's like young. Again, no idea how old she is. Is she 11 or is she 17? I don't know. Couldn't tell you. She's come out. Yes? No. Well, I guess she's sort of early in the season. She wants to delay it by a year.
Yes, but her mom says no.
But her mom says get out there now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, she's got 3 daughters in the season. So they have to at least be a year apart from each other.
How long do you take? Was this discussed and I missed it? Like, are you meant to get married the first season?
I don't. Again.
Like, do you get like a couple seasons?
You must get
like
a couple
good
seasons.
Netflix drama or something.
Oh, you must get a couple seasons because like the 3 other like she's got 2 other daughters who would, you know.
Like how many eligible suitors or what's the anyway?
Also, why only a season? Like, why couldn't you?
And how long is the season? 2-3 months?
Well, and
that's what I was thinking
Christmas?
too. Is just like
summer or what?
What are the expectations around how fast someone should propose if you're seen strolling with them? Because it seems like the expectation is like immediately, like you should receive some kind of proposal.
Well, if anyone watched any of those shows, like those families with the 18 or 20 kids, those unusual religious families. I mean, it's basically, if you look at each other, I believe you have to get married.
Yeah, if you make direct eye contact with a person, you are expected to then marry them and breed.
Exactly.
I mean, well, and that's the other thing. Like, I mean, just like a show like this, like so far it is extremely hetero. And I do think that there are possibilities beyond a cishet normative.
I wasn't sure what they meant by that. Like when there was the scene I was talking about where Eloise and her brother are on the swing talking, and she's saying, I feel like there's something more for me. And he says, me too. And I'm like, are you guys talking about higher education, or are you talking about same-sex love? Like, what are we doing here?
I feel like they're talking about higher education. Okay. But
I wasn't sure.
I would love for it to be about.
I mean, you can do both, right? I mean,
you are allowed to be both a non-heterosexual and educated.
And highly educated. Yeah. And I wasn't sure if they were like not sure what either one of them were saying, but they knew that it was something. It felt like very me too. And she's like, good. What does that mean? You know,
but again, like, are they 10 years apart in age, or are they 4 years apart in age? Like, I know that.
Why isn't he married? Shouldn't he be married?
Well, that's what Violet says.
Yeah, the style of dresses tend to make every woman look like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, an empire waist is not, unless you are like,
it's kind. The empire waist is a kind cut. Right? I mean,
it's like a little girl style dress to me.
Yeah, like unless you are bringing it with the corseted bosoms up top. Like if you are just like a flat, it's a very little girl dress.
But that sense of the fabric that just comes out, it's not cinching in. I think.
But it cinches in underneath the bust line.
So yeah.
You know? And so like if you are super flat chested, like Daphne is like relatively flat chested, like she looks very young.
Whereas to bring it back to the beginning of our podcast, it looks like a very innocent type of dress to me.
That's exactly what you should be wearing when you look at your face. Exactly.
Oh, did I not tell you that I was wearing my
pink
empire waisted nightgown when I looked in the mirror at the same time?
I just imagine you in a flowing nightgown.
Always. I'm just basically constantly in that Celine Dion video. It's all coming back to me now. Yeah. It's just me running through our apartment, like breaking through doors.
When you imagine me at night, I want you to imagine that I'm Mariah Carey in that white shirt.
I love it.
You know which one I mean? In what is it? Why am I not?
I know what you're talking about.
We Belong Together.
Yep.
We Belong Together. That's what I want. And I'm against the wall with the fan.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
AG, what are you wearing at night?
I'm just probably wearing a matching tie-dye sweatsuit.
Oh, okay.
Always and forever.
Always
and forever. Whose song is that? That's
So, like, okay, before we end, do you have who is your favorite character? Who is your favorite character in Bridgerton?
I've already said
Eloise, yes.
Yeah.
AG?
I have no idea. There's first of all, there's too many characters. I can't keep track of everybody.
Yeah, you have face blindness. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I don't know. I sort of have lost track of most of the storylines. I am watching the show for the beautiful scenery and dresses.
All the wallpaper is amazing.
Yeah.
So many cute Pomeranians, of course, I must love.
Yeah, and the cute dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I like the queen. Like, she's pretty funny.
She's great.
And then, Lady Whistledown is kind of explaining the show as we go along and helping me keep up with it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate her as a narrator.
She does a good job as a narrator. I'm obviously Lady Dansbury forever. I just love her so much, and I hope that she factors in a lot too. But I honestly I've very much enjoyed these 2 episodes, and I'm really excited about watching the rest of it.
I feel the same. I didn't think actually after the first I was like meh. After the second I'm more interested now.
Yeah,
I feel, and also because I saw this headline that said Simon and Daphne's relationship was toxic, and the first episode I was like, yeah, it kind of is. It's a bit twisted. He's kind of got her over a barrel, and I'm going to play the cad, the bachelor that will never marry. But by the end of the second, we see it's not just about which is so soap opera-ish. It's not just about him being a cad. It's because he was so hurt and he had so much trauma from his father that he made this terrible, promise that he would never marry and have an heir because he was so hurt.
And we also see that like he isn't necessarily a bad guy. He's just not interested in like being catnip to a bunch of like mothers. And that's fine. I mean, it's if you were
but neither does she.
Well, that's the thing. Neither is she. And I think he understands that, and he sees very much that she can take care of herself quite a bit. And I feel like he's only done like sort of things to assist her in her independence so far.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't see that he's explained her situation to her. Like, he hasn't tried to tell her like how it is. Like, he's, if anything, he sort of seems to understand her willfulness a bit better than she has given any interest in understanding like his desire for like freedom and independence.
Agreed.
The show does make me miss fancy buffets, like you get at a wedding.
Too. Yes.
Oh, and the little pastries, the little tiny.
Yeah. I would kill for a garden party right now, guys. Yeah, honestly.
Well, it is January, so we wouldn't be doing it ordinarily anyway.
I know, but I just I bought a tent and I had real dreams of being outdoors all winter under our stupid tent, wearing masks and hanging out with friends 6 feet apart. And it's been a real blow. We haven't used the tent once.
Yeah.
I know.
That's sad.
So sad. So sad. So sad. Anyway, yes, for me, Bridgerton pops.
Pops for me too. Oh.
Sure.
Oh.
It's okay. It's fine. I don't not like it. I just don't know if I'll keep watching it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
not when the latest season of Cobra Kai has just dropped. I've got other things to focus on.
I was just about to say, what do you recommend this week, AG? And you already said it.
I've said Cobra Kai for the 4 different episodes, so I'm not.
I don't think you're ever going to get me into that one. I just feel like I will not. I have no interest, but perhaps I'm wrong on this. I do like fighting shows, so.
Yeah. I think you should. Well, hey, did you ever watch the original Karate Kid?
Yeah. No. Am I a human? Okay. Come on.
I never did.
Okay, then you're at AW. You're not going to care about Cobra Kai, but Lisa, I think you will.
But AG, sorry, what was your thing you were going to recommend?
Oh, okay. There's this comedy docu-series that I've been watching on Crave called How To with John Wilson. And it's hard to explain, but it's like he's a documentary filmmaker, and over the course of many, many years, he's kind of filmed all this footage of New York, his life in New York, and he spliced it all together to tell these stories. Like there's 6 episodes, and each one is called like How to Make Small Talk, How to Set Up Scaffolding.
Oh, fun.
How to...
Where's it on? Is it Netflix or?
It's on Crave.
Oh, Crave. Okay.
And it's just like, it's really funny and it's really poignant and it's sad in times, and it's really great. Like, and I'm just obsessed with it. There's one called like How to Improve Your Memory, I think it was called. And
you couldn't remember that?
Anyway, that's true. But he goes through like how people's memories are unreliable, and he talks to this group of people that kind of are obsessed with false memories, and it's called like something called the Mandela effect, where like a whole group of people have a memory of something that didn't happen, and it's named after Nelson Mandela because apparently there's a large swath of people who believe that he died in prison in the 80s when, obviously that's not the case. Or,
I
like
did not know that's where that got its name.
No.
Amazing.
Yeah, the Berenstain Bears thing, where people thought it was spelled like Berenstain Bears, but it's Berenstain Bears. And it's just like, Yeah,
you know, one of those things is not like the other. I just want to.
No, yeah.
Yeah, or like, how do you think Febreze is spelled, for instance?
I think it's spelled Fabreeze.
And I think it's spelled Febreeze.
It's not EEZE at all. It's EZ. Well, it's close. It's BREZE.
Oh,
but everybody in the world thinks it's a double E. And
well,
so
I think it's like breeze, as opposed to maybe they meant it for like ease.
But they have like countless examples of this and how like.
So should it be like caprese salad? Should it be Febreze? Is that what you're telling me?
Maybe. I don't know.
Sorry, that might be one of the dumbest things I've ever said.
When I think of you, I always think of a caprese salad too.
It's actually one of my favorite salads. I started liking tomatoes entirely because of Andrea Gin and Joe, and then I've now gotten really into caprese salads.
Oh,
yeah. Anyway,
it's
we're all changing so much during this pandemic. It's hard to keep
so much.
Anyway, it's a really good series, and I'm totally obsessed with it. It's so great.
It sounds great, and I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah.
Lisa, what about you?
Well, after several years of your recommendation, probably, I finally started watching Community.
Welcome, friend.
And I'm really enjoying it. And I don't know why I waited so long. One of the reasons I do was, I don't know why, but for some reason I thought they were teachers. And for some reason I thought that wouldn't be as interesting. The fact that they're students.
You know what? Eventually it's not as interesting because some of them do become teachers.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, it's fine.
Anyway, I wasn't expecting the sweetness at the end of each episode, which is really helping me.
So where are you at in the series?
Just about finishing season 1, which also can I explain, because these are different, like older series have like 25 episodes.
They sure do. And although there is like a really fascinating, God, if I have time this weekend, I'll put together a small reading packet for you of just like stuff that's
that was overwhelming.
Like, I know. No, but I just want you to understand stuff that was going on while this show was happening.
Oh, I know all the backstory.
Okay, because like it's really, it's really helpful to know a lot of stuff. I love Community. There are definitely things that do not age well. There are definitely like episodes that are very like of the context of the time.
Oh yes,
things that were like out of step even then. Yeah. But I really do love the show quite a bit. So.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah,
a lot of fascinating community stuff. Can't wait to chat with you about.
Okay,
Community.
good.
Yeah.
Good. And you?
I'm gonna recommend. Sorry, this is going on for so long. I'm so sorry. I am gonna recommend. So I watched the documentary on Crave called Natalie Wood, What Remains.
Is this because you're a grandma, or did you really want to watch this?
I actually did want to watch it, but also because of my grandma.
Yeah.
Natalie Wood, What Remains Behind. So I have wanted to watch this for a while, but grandma also wanted to watch it, and Carlos wanted to watch it. So last night we had like family movie night. And so I actually think that there are like 5 different Natalie Wood movies that we should do on the podcast. I found out so much stuff about her that I didn't know. Like she fought for equal pay on this movie that she did in the mid 60s with Tony Curtis and some other maybe Jack Lemmon, I can't remember. Anyway, like she fought for equal pay so much that she even insisted they had the exact same telephone cord extension lengths in their dressing rooms. That's how much she like demanded full and utter equity, because she found out she wasn't getting paid as much and she wasn't getting treated the same. She fought Warner Brothers Studios and the contracts, and she ended up being suspended for 18 months, and she ended up getting the right to make one film of her choice per year while she was under this like ridiculous studio contract. And that's when she ended up making Rebel Without a Cause. And
God, I thought she was like 12 in that.
No, she's like 18 in that, or no, sorry, she's 15 in that. But that's when
she
had already...
was so far
I'm sorry,
off.
yeah, no, you're right though. She was 15 in that. But like she'd been acting since she was like 4, so she was basically like 30 in studio years. Anyway, and she also fought to get contracts amended to allow her to have time to see her therapist every day after she had a bit of a breakdown in the mid 60s. And Barbara, like in the documentary, it talks about Barbara Streisand stopping by the set to talk to her about how to negotiate a contract for herself with the movie studios. Like she was actually like kind of hugely influential in terms of like women having some power in the studios at the time. So anyway, there's a bunch of different movies that she made that I actually think that we should potentially do. And this documentary is very biased. It's made by her daughter. But it's also very interesting, and it's like a pretty compelling look at Natalie Wood's career.
I like it. I like Natalie Wood.
Yeah, it's on Crave as well.
Good. Sure. Yeah. I really wanted, I haven't been able to find it yet, but I kept hearing really great things about the new Bee Gees documentary, but I don't know where that is.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
No.
I don't know where it is. Yeah.
I was just going to add one quick thing about my recommendation I forgot to add, is that it was executive produced by Nathan Fielder.
Oh, nice. Yay. Well.
Yeah, so if you like his
hometown
stuff,
boy too. Yes, I do.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the same vein of humor.
Perfect.
My favorite kind of humor.
Well,
awkward.
Winning recommendations from all of us tonight. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, for hanging out with us, for carrying on into 2021 with us. We really appreciate it. You can listen to us. You could like hang out with us online, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. You could listen to us on iTunes and Spotify and so many other places where you might get podcasts. You could rate and review us 5 stars.
Always 5 stars. Thanks so much for being with us here. Andrea Gin is our producer and co-host through, I think we'll call these the pandemic years episodes. We haven't really named them yet, but
years.
It's always pop this at home forever.
Pop this at home forever. Join us. Join us. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.